Hey, how's it going? Ooh, I don't like that. Okay. I'm gonna ask you to take a look at my signs, and I know the light is dim, so I'm gonna help you. And there you go. Oh, jeez. So I want to tell you about, I had my birthday was yesterday, and I woke up with my back really painful, and the pain kept migrating, and I wasn't sure what exactly had happened. I eventually figured it out, but for a while I was like, I might have to go to the hospital here. So it was hard to move around in here, and I should have been using my motorized chair to save my arms and my back and my neck, which was, or my shoulder rather. But yeah, that my neck is connected to my shoulder when that is bothering me. So pretty much my whole side along my back was just spasming, and I couldn't bend too far forward, and then I couldn't lift my arm because of the shoulder, and I was like, wow. I really got hammered today. And so but my friend came over, and it was really good to see her, because we're both not from this state that we live in, and even though we didn't grow up in the same cities at all, we still just immediately felt more connected. And it's the weirdest thing, because the people I'm closest friends with here, and I've lived here now since 2004, but I also lived here 5 years before that in a different area, so I kind of was here for a pretty good while, cumulatively. So anyway, it's just weird that the people I tend to get along with best that I met here are also from out of state. But now that it's been 21 years in January, I do have people that are native to here that I'm getting closer to. And then also, I guess I did know someone from here when I was still in LA, and he's here now too, but something I said made him stop responding to me, and I don't know what it was, so I can't apologize or, do whatever is necessary to make it better. What am I seeing? I don't know. Oh, okay. Now I do. So anyway, it was great to have her here, and then I had gotten this recliner, and I was in it, but it slides. Excuse me. It slides out, so you can sort of use it as a sleeper, and I had it mostly put together. But it got to this one thing that I just wasn't physically strong enough to do on my own, and there just hadn't been a second person. And then I talked to my friend that came over, and we were going to do it. She's she's kind of as messed up as I am, so I had also asked my neighbor, who is a man, and he is not messed up. So he ended up stopping by with his buddy. And my neighbor friend is just goofing off and having fun, and he really clicked with my friend, so they're chattering with each other, and I'm just kind of watching the man put the thing together all by himself. The thing that I needed two people for, he just kind of whipped it together, and that was really good, because I didn't know how I was going to sleep in that other chair. That is partly the reason why my back was messed up. So it was a nice time, and I woke up today and I slept better than I have in a while, just because it was like the right size finally. Like I'm not very tall anymore. I've lost like almost 3 inches of height over the years, but my legs were hanging off that other chair that I had. It was made like for a child or something. So anyway, I was very excited to have that chair ready, and this was way before my back decided to start acting up. I was already excited about this thing. So I got to sleep on it last night, and then I woke up this morning and, sorry. So yeah, my back was better, but it was still pretty sore. And then I forgot that they had been doing work on the ceiling that's been leaking for like 15 of the 20 years that I've lived here in my bathroom. So I'm really glad that it got taken care of. Like, super appreciative. Don't get me wrong. I mean, I don't want to sound like I'm not appreciative. So they have to do some of the final parts and stages, like putting on like the spackle or whatever, and then smoothing it, and then that has to dry, and then so when they come back, then they're gonna paint it, and then hopefully that'll be it. Because I just, I don't want a lot of traffic in my house. So anyway, the guy comes today to do that stuff in the bathroom, and I was still, like, really messed up in pain. Like, even though I felt better, it was bad enough that, like I said, I should have been using the chair that I didn't have to use my arms for. So I'm making my way to the door, which is kind of difficult because the floor is really warped, and it wants to, send me the direction I don't want to go. So I'm like fighting against it and the floor and gravity and trying to get over there, and I'm making all this noise. So the guy comes in, and I told him what was wrong with me, and he was like, okay, can I do a blessing on you, or can I pray for you? And I was like, sure. And he did that, and it helped a little bit. It may have worked better if I didn't create a little bit of resistance in the form of, he kept saying that it was like, or he didn't say it was this, but he was like, cast out curses and, demonic spirits and all of this. And I was like, it's not all of that. I pulled a muscle. I mean, I know now what I did to do it. And so, but I believe in the power of healing, especially if the person that wants to heal you is sincere in their intent. Like, the language really doesn't matter. If what they're trying to do is good and right, that's just my feeling. So, he did that, and it felt a little better, and then he went and did some work, and I was going to let him out. He goes, you want me to pray for you again? And so he came in here, actually, where I am, and what you can't see on the other side of the camera is all of my tarot cards are stacked up back there, and a bunch of crystals and stuff. And so, he asked me, like, what this was, and I don't remember, because it was a gift, and I think it's actually plastic, which my friend told me, but the vibration of, like, her giving it to me, knowing that I like crystals, and like, it's just a little souvenir she got on the trip. I'm very grateful. Like, she didn't have to think of me. And so it is simulating a stone. I no longer remember what that is. But so he asked me, and I said, I don't remember. And then he starts warning me about witchcraft, and I was like, okay, I'm just gonna stop you right here. Like, every psychic I know of, or card reader, they're all some kind of like Jesus people or the other religious equivalent. Like, like there, I didn't get it into the discussion deep about like what is and isn't like what we perceive as evil that people can do as far as like casting spells and hexes and such like that. Like I don't deal with that. That stuff works on you if you believe in it. Like, to condense the thought. So I just said, look, all of the ones I know are Jesus people, and he's like, well, you be careful. And I'm like, of course. But I wasn't like ready to like give this stranger my whole background. But he did it again, and then he's like, is it gone? Are you a believer? Is it gone? And I'm like, yes, I'm a believer. But I also know that sometimes it could just take time. Like, for it to have completely gone away, I would have needed to have my vibration there, and I don't, I don't yet. I don't know if I want to linger in the pain, or if, like I said, it was like a resistance to his language. And then also, like, the warnings about what I'm doing, and I'm like, bro, you don't know me. Like, I'm not out there committing acts of evil. I'm not even in here committing acts of evil. Like, don't bring that in here. So, I mean, it's fine. I appreciated him doing it. I've had other people come from like a different direction and do healings on me, and they work about the same, you know. Like, I did feel a difference, but sometimes, like, this is a pretty serious injury. It probably would take more healings, help, you know, with the healing process that I'm already going through. And maybe I like it or something. Otherwise, I could vibe myself out of it. Although I'm having a hard time swallowing that one. I got enough physical stuff, you know, going on. I don't need more. So, I was meditating before this, and I often put the title on something, and it starts with some thoughts. And I've noticed that when I watch my readings, or not readings, but channelings from like the ETs, every once in a while one of them will say something about like some process they're trying to describe to us, or I'll just leave it at that, but they'll just be like, you just can't have some thoughts about it, like that's not enough. And I was like, well, whoa, I'm not saying that, like, because they were talking about like just thinking about something's not going to do it. You have to change your vibrational frequency. And I am aware of that, but I'm not that good at working it quite yet. I'm working on working it. I'm learning to. And so, and I guess I have a chip on my shoulder, because whenever I feel like they're scolding me, it's not even a scold, really. It's just like, I'm going to bring this to your attention, but they got me wrong on that, like they have before. When I'm talking about some thoughts, it's literally about me telling you what I've been thinking about. It's not like part of any particular direction or instructions. It's often around like some topical thing that's happening that everybody knows about, or just something that we all can commonly experience collectively. So it's not like I'm saying have thoughts and that'll take care of it. It's more like I have thoughts on the subject and then I discuss it. It's not the same thing. It's not even the same as thoughts and prayers, because it's not that. It is just what I was thinking about on a subject. It might be personal to me. It might apply to everyone. I'm not even gonna like make a real big commitment on the latter, because it might and it might not. I don't know. So I just wanted to like make that clarification. Um, and finally, one of the gifts beyond my friend's presence, like as far as like actually showing up and being here, I guess I have a little bit of a thing about birthdays, because it's like I don't ask like anything of people if I could possibly avoid it. Like truly, I don't like to ask for help because I don't have luck getting it. I just seem, for some reason, it like pisses people off when I ask for help. I could dwell and try and have some thoughts on what that's all about, but I'd rather not, because if people knew how much I don't want to ask for help, they might cut me a break. So I was just grateful for her presence, but I feel like the birthday is the one day a year I can at least ask for and expect someone to say, "Hi, I know you're alive," because that's more like what it's about. Like, getting a gift is great. I love that, but I also would be really happy to receive some acknowledgement that I'm alive from people that know when my birthday is. And I'm not talking about all people like that, because I am really like not great at remembering other people's birthdays. Some I do remember, because some people, I know multiple people with the same birthday, and then I have like a vague idea. But honestly, I don't keep track. It's not on purpose. It's just, I don't know. I guess I just don't retain it for whatever reason. I'm happy to celebrate it with you, and my goodness, I have some like thoughts on why I don't retain that particular bit of information, and I'll just say that it's because I don't hear from people a lot, and so I'm not thinking about them and their lives too much, and that's, I think, why I don't really remember. But there are people who I would see a lot that would remember it all the time, and then I was like not great. I was spotty on remembering theirs, so I don't know if that's like some kind of passive aggressive thing I got going on or what. Like I want to remember. Oh yeah, and I also like never have money to buy anybody a gift or a card. Like, also sporadic. So that matters to me. So that might have, actually, now that I think about it, that might have a lot to do with it, because it does matter to me. And then when I can't do it, then I'm like, oh, I suck. So I don't even want to bring it up. Okay, good talk. Bye. But speaking of gifts, my friend gave me a couple of things, and she's so good. Like, she like pays attention. So she I think has these, because I saw them at her house, and I was like, those are so beautiful. So this is a present she got me, and it's the Starseed Oracle deck, and it's from Rebecca Campbell, and the artwork is by Danielle Noel. You can see. You decide how you want to pronounce that. So I'm gonna use them. I might use, there's a book that came with them, but I was like they were really stuck together. I was trying to get some air between them so I could shuffle them properly and, get my greasy aura all over them. And I have there's a booklet, so I might decide to consult that. What do you want? There's a bunch of bill people. Okay, so I was talking about that other stuff, and then there was something on one of the cards that I'm gonna pick up here in a second that it reminded me of a card in another deck that I have, which is the That's my show. But it has, I can't think of the name of it, but it has a card in it, Empty Well. I guess it's a Lightseer's deck, and it has a card that's Empty Well. And the illustration on it reminded me of this picture that I caught a glimpse of in the cards I pulled, but it's not a well. And it made me wonder, why does a well go dry? So, hold on, I'm going to pause you while I look it up. Okay, I have that just standing by. So, trying to remember what I was thinking about when I pulled out these cards. I was thinking about, like, what happened to the Reiners and, or Rob Reiner and his wife, and the people that are still around to live through that experience. And I think I was just talking about this a couple of days ago before anybody died. That always happens. Just takes my brain a few minutes to catch up and collate everything together. But I was talking about how when people die, like, the people who are left behind a lot of times show up, and it's like about them and their mourning and whatever else. Yeah, like, to me, it always just became more about the mourners and how they were mourning, and everybody looking at each other and judging each other. And hi, there's a body up there out in the, out of the refrigerator waiting for your attention if we're going to do this. So, I mean, not a fan. I'm not a fan, to be clear. But it also has made me think about how what the people that are left behind are going through, including that, like, including the need to go to do that whole funeral thing. Like, I'm not saying there's not grief, but there's, like, it's like you got to do it a certain way or something, and I think that's so strange. How can you dictate that? So, thinking about the people in the aftermath, and I think about it a lot, like, there's wars and mass shootings and natural disasters and accidents and just whole, like, swaths of people just whoop, gone. And, there's all these people left behind. There's all this concern about what created the conditions that caused everybody to go whoop. And I think that, I guess what I'm getting at is how we, like, the person's passing is kind of like part of a learning experience, to where what do you do with what you've learned from that experience, or what puts you in a place where you process it so you learn something from it. And that's not, like, I know that's not, well, actually it is now, but I was never, like, in the state of mind where I was like, this happened, what can I extract and extrapolate from this situation? Like, I wasn't always, like, I guess, this clinical about it, but it's helpful, I think, I find for myself to have a process that I actually get something worthwhile out of. And it can be in the grieving process or anything that I'm doing, but it's like I have learned to take a step back from the kind of expected emotional reactions, and, well, especially because I don't feel that, like, for real. Like, I can't fake that, because I don't know, like, all of the ones I've had to say goodbye to have been close to my heart. So, I don't want to say goodbye, but they got to go. There is some truth to, when it's your time, you go, because you, on a side, but not on an adjacent subject, like you're here to get something done in a way. And so once you've achieved that goal, like, that's when your time is up, and that's as planned as it should be, because it was planned. Anyway, so I don't know. I guess that was like what I was thinking about, and the healing process. And I guess when you consciously or not find yourself in that space where you're like productively grieving, and you can, like, a lot of people have been doing this, where they are talking a lot about the achievements of the guy, of Rob Reiner. So that is like I feel like good, healthy, productive way. Like, celebrate the life. That's my that's the way I go about it when someone passes. Like, I don't want to, like, I will mourn, but, and I don't even have to do it privately, but it's like, it's got to come when it's ready to come. It's not going to be all, okay, at 10 a.m., appear at the building and do the grieving process starting now. And we should all have that freedom, I think. Like, if you want to go do the thing in the building, great, go ahead, but don't look down on other people for the way that they're going through the same process. That's not cool, man. But that's not even what I want to be talking about. I mean, it is. The part about, everybody else deciding what someone else should do, I'm never like, okay with that. But going forward, how do we do? And okay, so let's just see what the cards have to say. So the first one is Inner Earth. And the subtitle is, You'll Survive This, New Solutions and Beginnings. Inner Earth. So, like, do you also think that's referring to your sort of inner landscape, where in a period of grieving you might retreat to like get yourself right, reattune yourself to the new situation? I like that. I like that card. Okay, so the next one is the Cosmic Heart. Devotion, potency, make your life a moving prayer. Was I just talking about, like, trying to live, like, practice what you preach? I think it was just a second ago. Love that. So, I was talking to my friend when she was here, and other times too, because we're often on the same page, and we were talking about how we incorporate what we learn from our, like, spiritual studies into our actual life. And I guess, like, taking a stand and deciding at a very young age, when nobody was with me on it, that, man, I just don't do funerals, because I didn't tell the people, the relatives and friends. It was really only the relatives that came down on me about it, and they didn't even do that, but I registered their disapproval, and that was not uncommon. And so anyway, like you often take control of yourself when like you're taking a stand, like, no, this is what I believe, this is what I'm going with. And it's just hard sometimes to go through with it because you're a younger person, like a child or a teen, and then the adults don't, for a number of reasons. But I'm not like a psychologist, but you get where I'm going. Like, it could be a lot of things, but they don't want you to like express yourself in a non-uniform way or something. And I don't know, that's just always been like a thing that I've run into. But so we were talking about like incorporating like our sort of studies into our lives, and always like there's instruction about like emotional like control. And I've learned to look at like what we call religion, or stuff that's in religion, in completely other ways since I've begun this form of study. And it does affect how I live my life. Like, it's given me new ways to look at personal boundaries, and ways to use whatever happens for yourself or against yourself. Like, on the social media sites, whenever someone comes at you that doesn't like what you said, you got choices. You can fight with them. You can outdo them, like, say something so terrible they'll just shut up and go away. You'll make them feel like leaving. Or you can, like, do what I did when I was watching a movie, and I got an alert, or a notification, so I looked at the phone and just sort of didn't really read it well, and saw Texas, and I was just all, I don't live in Texas. And then some ads came on, and I looked at it again, and I was like, oh, and this is what I wrote. Oh, okay, so let me try that again. Sorry about that, wasn't paying attention. And then I answered them properly, and the guy who sent the message was like, I never said you lived in Texas. And I'm like, I know. And then the conversation went on, and we weren't at each other's throats at all. So that, I like that option better. Option 2, option B, let's go with that. So I feel like that's what it's talking about. And the devotion, that is a term I associate with prayer, but also with really wanting to complete a task and like properly executing it. And so, I mean, you make it a part of your life. Like, you embody those techniques, and you get what I'm saying? Make your life a moving prayer. So yeah, like, live the things that you're saying as much. Live in authenticity is, I guess, what I'm trying to say here. Okay, so the next card is Child of the Cosmos. I thought maybe she kind of had wings, but it's like the space plasma clouds or whatever that is behind her. And I guess passing in front of her some orbs. But yeah, Child of the Cosmos. So the subtitle is The Intelligence of the Universe Lies Within You. They say, and I'm finding this to be true in a weird kind of way, but they say that when you're like studying the things like I've been talking about, you are reminding yourself, like not really learning it anew. And the reason why I say it's funny is because, and I've talked about this before, I'll think of something and start doing it, and then find out later that that's like the shamanic thing to do for that particular issue, and it's like you just kind of know it. So that's what I understand it as, the intelligence of the universe within you. And there's another way that it came to me that is a thing that's true, that the universe is within you. We were just not always in the right like frequency or state of mind to perceive it. But yeah, so we're not always like able to like perceive it. But when we get in the right frequency and state of mind, we can access like everything. And so one time I was watching one of those channeled messages, and they started talking about something that I have talked about before, and I just love it when I get it right without anyone having told me. So I've had like a bunch of surgeries, and there's there's a spot when they medicate you to go into the surgery that's between you're sober and knocked out. And I said that it is like the time where you know everything that ever was to know. Like you just know everything, and then poop, you're gone into like totally medicated land. But I also noticed that it's very similar to when you're falling asleep or waking up. There's like an in-between time where you're not awake or asleep. And that feels the same as that about to go into surgery time with the medication. And I've been just mentioning it off and on for years, and like last week, or it was longer than that, but it was not too long ago, and I'm watching one of my channeled messages video, and they start talking about that space when you're like between waking and sleeping, that you have access to like the Akashic record, which is like the library of everything that's ever happened. So I mean, like, that's what is written, you could say, about the whole universe is in that Akashic library. So you have that just in you, you know, like if you are familiar with, well, nope, not gonna go there and lose track. So, okay, so moving on to the next card. Oh, little spasm. Not bad at all. Okay, so, yeah, the next card is the Seven Star Sisters, the Pleiadians, or the constellation, birthing creations, tapestry of life, expression. Let me try that again. Birthing creations, tapestry of life, expression. You know, the Seven Sisters in, like, E.T. to Earthman mythology or chronology, the Pleiades constellation is where the Pleiadians come from, the residents, and they are the ones that helped birth humanity and have sort of shepherded us along, because they can't like help too much, but they can help when we ask, and it's something they're allowed. Like sometimes they're prevented from helping with certain things because of like a prime directive situation, but I mean they've been on this planet or watching over it, just helping along the life on this planet since before there was life, other than like volcanic stuff happening and, you know, whatever happens before life shows its face. And so in a lot of native cultures, they have long been in communication, like their holy people or their shamans, or maybe just, people that were not that, just other people. And there, I guess, was a time where they were here walking around with us literally. But they got a lot of wisdom from the Pleiadians, and mainly I know the stories about it from the Lakota Sioux, but I don't think it's isolated to that nation. And they call them the place they're from, the Pleiades. They're like, or the Pleiadians are like the Star Nation. So this other tribe, but they're like elders, and I don't know about ancestors, but they're elders, and they have given a lot of information about, like, the time that we're in right now. There's instruction amongst all of the tribes about people that are going to have to be informed of the information that was shared by the Pleiadians. So I'd say that's a timely topical pick. Okay, so the next one is, or the last one actually, is Fall Into My Arms. And the subtitle is Surrender, Holding the Opposites, Extremes of Life. That feels like it's talking about something that I've been discussing off and on, and I've seen a recent channeling about it too, is how what we perceive as separation isn't really so. Like, it's not really that. It's just a projection we're making for ourselves to experience that. And so it is hard to stop thinking of things completely like as polar opposites, because it's more nuanced than that, and things can change, like balances shift. And so I think surrendering to the idea that there is not separation is, I think, a period that we're going to start moving into, like, collectively, like, having that understanding, because of the way it is now. People think that everybody's a separate species, practically, and that's silly. So we have to, I feel like, move past that to move forward, or move through it. Like, everybody get in that ditch and man a shovel, and we need to do things together. Like, put each other in that space of separation, but also surrender to the idea that, like, it's just not as black and white as that. And so the thing that I saw recently and I talked about it, but it changed my thinking on that sort of polar opposite thing, and it was the fact that, like, you can just like change your frequency. Like, that often happens when you change your mind to where you want to move into a different one. Like, you don't want to be, like, all the way extreme where it's kind of dark, maybe, and you want to also maybe start to understand that your perception of it, I guess, can also be that you just move into a lighter section of darkness until it's just light. And that's less abrupt than, like, this is only this and that over there is bad, and the same thing in the opposite direction. That is non-productive. Like, that's literally not meshing. And meshing is what it is, what it already is, and we just have been like playing this game where nothing is, but that we just have to focus our lenses on that, because and I'm not saying like this is something that I'm telling you to go do because it's an instruction. I'm just saying that it is what it is. There's no separation. Everything's all woven together, meshed. And then the last sentence was extremes of life. I already covered that. Holding the opposites. If you got one opposite end over here and you got a grip on it, a grip or a grap, and you're doing the same thing with your other hand, then there's no separation. You have effectively filled the middle. So, that's like the interpretation for dummies. But, I mean, it's simple for a reason. Can you get my drift on that? Like, I feel like it's a state of mind that we haven't moved into, or not fully, where I think we are starting to see, or there have always been people that could see that, just because their religion is different, or they look different, or they sound different, they're not different. Here in the United States, we got people in the Northeast that sound one way and then go south, and all of a sudden the people are completely different sounding. Go Midwest, different, East, West, like, we already know this, so why are we acting like it's this big fat deal? It's that little projection that we've been playing with ourselves to have that experience, to learn what that feels like. And then I had also pulled a Declarations of Mary card, so let me just read that real quick. As thou receives the love of God through kindness from another, thou too shall continue the cycle in the vibration of love, which continues elevated levels of light, love, and compassion within humanity, with nothing expected in return. Did you get that? That was all one sentence. Oh, no, yeah, one sentence. One more time. As thou receives the love of God through kindness from another, thou too shall continue the cycle in the vibration of love, which continues elevated levels of light, love, and compassion within humanity, with nothing expected in return. Yeah, I think that's a good thing to say and think about, because we're already doing a lot for each other in this world, in these lives, and we maybe are not, or probably are not, conscious of the fact that this was all planned. Like, we all came here to be born, because we knew it was going to be a gnarly time, and people that have returned, like starseeds, have, like, lived here. Or is it starseeds? There's so many designations, but let's just say people that have reincarnated multiply here on Earth because they want to be a continuing part of the plan of trying to stop what is happening right now, where we have a couple of choices to decide as humanity. Like, do we want to be a world of a few owners and then a bunch of ill-treated, like, slaves and serfs? No, we don't. But the way that we have traditionally dealt with this has not ever permanently fixed the problem. So it's my opinion that we need to move to a different space, so that we know we need a new way of doing things, or to incorporate at least new techniques and technology for doing this. Like, doing the whole everybody living together and having enough of a share in everything that, oops, that you're not, like, constantly feeling like you gotta grab it from someone else. Okay, think I'm done, so have a nice day. Thank you and good night.